We are back. Week 1 is officially in the books, and what a terrible week for fantasy football. Every single matchup, with the exception of G and Quack, which was a toilet bowl between the two lowest scoring teams, was decided by 15 or more points. But with that said, let's recap and see what happened. The Hans Dynasty went down to All In on Allen, who should probably change their team name to I'll Die on This Hill, as Tyreek scored 51 of his 129 points. But speaking of Josh Allen was only able to muster 4 points, which was still 6 better than my quarterback, Daniel Jones, who scored me a whopping -2. Nothing went right for myself in this matchup, as only Jacksonville's defense and Evan Ingram outscored their projections, and Evan Ingram only outscored his projections by .02. But moving down to the next matchup, who also had a team that was named after a player who underperformed, Burrowed in the Breeze was able to squeak out a win against the Kissing Cousins, even though G had 3 players score 0 points, and 2 other players who scored 2 or less. She was only able to do this because Stephon Diggs, Pollard, and San Francisco all scored 20-plus points, while Quack was cursing Higgins' name as he was teed off for a loss, who got him 0 points. Overall, Quack had 7 players score under 10 points, which ultimately led to his downfall and the toilet bowl game of the week. In our highest scoring matchup of the week, we once again saw a quarterback failure as Lamar was only able to put up 2.5 points, but that didn't matter as the LeBarkley Trophy knows that championships are won with defense and special teams, who scored 68 of his points this week. Todd had a very good game as he was relying on Ayuk to do most of the dirty work, but was crippled by Drake London's no-show. Speaking of cripples, Todd will also be looking for a replacement for J.K. Dobbins, who is out for the year. So send Todd your trades. Our next matchup, we saw Matthew Berry's Minions take down Bijan's Field of Dreams 141 to 112. Prego and Duffy's team really showed out in this one, as only 3 players scored less than 10 points, which included their kicker, the infamous Harry Butt. Gary was able to put up a good fight, but he was likely not able to lock it up, as Isaiah and Tyler scored a combined 5 points for him. In our final matchup, which happened to be the only one between 2 QBs who actually performed well, we saw Flynn start his redemption tour, beating Mac 147 to 116. This game was really expertly managed by both owners, as not a single player on their bench outscored their starters. But the matchup ultimately boiled down to the starting wide receivers, where When Life Gives You Lemons outscored the McCaffrey Americans 33 to 13. Today the Eagles are playing Minnesota, so please set your lineups accordingly, and let's get some more competitive matchups this week.